This evening is about you. This evening is for people who do the right thing because you're you, not because someone had to tell you. We are the Litter Control and Beautification Commissioners, and we deal with community police an awful lot, reporting high grass, reporting litter, all this. They get all kinds of attention. It may not be the best kind, but nobody attends to you who do the right thing, who are always taking care of your property and making Waterbury beautiful, and those of you who go out of your way to do some volunteer things. Waterbury is loaded with people who think of an idea, something to help our city, and then they go out and do it. And that's an amazing thing to me. Sometimes you think, well, maybe I'll move out of Waterbury, but with people like you, I would never do it. It's my home because of you. And we want to honor all of you, each for your own reason this evening. But before we do, Monroe Webster is here from the city of Waterbury. And he would like to say a few words of congratulations to you. He is what I call the voice. Listen to this voice of his. He should definitely be a broadcaster.
Did you hear that, Tom? I give honor to the Spirit of the Lord to each and every one here tonight. I was talking earlier with some of the folks, and I guess I'd really have to start off my remarks by talking about the person that would normally be in this position, that being Joe Gary. It's a great loss to the city, a great friend to each and every one of us, and truly we miss him dearly. But we thank him for all that he has done for this city, for each and every one of you. I'm sure each and every one would have some story personal story that they could tell about how they called Joe, and Joe helped them to get out of a jam, or provide a solution that after making 4 or 5 other calls to other people, that Joe was the one that made it happen, and we just appreciate all that he's done for us. Again, going forward, it's my privilege, my pleasure to be here tonight to represent the mayor's office, to stand in Joe's place, just to be able to say congratulations to each and every one. As Bonnie has said, there are so many of us, there are so many good things that are happening, number one, in Waterbury. In looking at some of the awards that are taking place, those personal properties, individual properties, commercial properties, each and every one here tonight, those that even weren't able to make it, are here to make a difference in what is going on in the city, to put on a good face. We often talk about, we look at downtown, and we look at the various businesses that are coming in. And when business owners come in, before they come in, when they come to look at the city, they want to know about the education system. They want to go around the city and see what the city looks like. And each and every one of you are an example that contributes to the difference that the mayor and others and his staff are able to make in terms of putting on a positive face in this great city of Waterbury. We thank each and every one of you for all that you do. We encourage you to continue to reach out and be the example that your neighbors, other people on your streets and in your neighborhoods might say, well, gee, look what they're doing. I can't let them outdo me. But it's a great thing. We appreciate all that you do. We appreciate Bonnie and her staff. Again, you give me a mic and I'll just go on.
You're doing great.
I'm doing great? Okay, 5 more minutes.
I'll give you the list of names.
Again, on behalf of the mayor and each and every one of you personally that has taken a vested interest in your properties, we talk many times about the properties. It's so easy to talk negatively about a particular neighborhood or a street or a neighbor. Again, I will let you know that anything that you think that I can do in terms of helping you, assisting you, and making a difference in your neighborhood, on your street, please just give a call. Thank you.
Nice job. Thank you so much. We're going to make you chairman next year, and you can do this. Thank you. Any thirds? All right. First, I want to do a little thank yous. Thank you, besides to you. Thank you to the mayor of Waterbury. Because of him, this evening can take place. I'd like to thank Meg Luddy, who typed up your invitations, and she typed up all of your awards. I'd like to thank Tony, Representative Tony D'Amelio, for being a wonderful host. He's been very helpful to us during the day as we set up for tonight. And two very special ladies, Donna and Iris, have been serving you, and they're very lovely. I met Donna in particular this afternoon, and I said, she's so, I don't know where she is. She's, yeah, if she would come out, we could clap. Yeah, there you are. Come here. I met her this afternoon, and she kindly offered me a cup of coffee. But I looked at her with this certain cheerfulness that she has, this warmth, and I said, you should have been a teacher, because what you have, every child needs. And she said I was. So I guess I can pick them out still. I'd like to thank David Thorold. This man, there he is back there. This man is one of the finest videographers I've ever met. I worked with him last year. We were doing some filming, and I was standing most of the time. And he takes the most intricate videos of, every piece of pollen in a flower, and he's just wonderful. He's done some great videos at Fulton Park and all over, and he's a very, very busy man. He gets many, many jobs because he's so good at what he does, and yet he's here. And Debbie, she's also a videographer. She told me he grew his beard because they do ice hockey videos, and so he needs to keep his chin warm. I don't know. That's what they told me. I'd like to introduce my commissioners. As you know, I'm Bonnie Rentis. I chair this commission. I guess it's because I have the weediest, most litter in my own yard, so they make me try to realize. But anyway, now my vice chairman is Rob Petro. He is a bus driver. He has the ability to be all around the city. He reports more high grass, I think, than any 10 people because he gets to see everything. He's great. He's really, really helpful with that. And then the next one is, I'm going in order of how long they've been on the commission. And the next one is Michael Muchacharo. Michael is our business liaison, and when we are having events and things, if he needs to go to businesses, we depend on him because he was in business. And during the time of the Beautification Awards, he came with me sometimes and helped me pick out properties. I owe him a special thanks. Sometimes it's nice to have company to decide on which properties are wonderful. And then we were going to, I use a 35 millimeter camera, which I know nobody uses, but I have an old car too, so one day. But anyway, so he said, well, they developed 5x7, because I wanted to have bigger pictures. But it's hard to get them done now from a 35 millimeter. I mean, yes, 35 millimeter. So he said, well, let's go to Torrington. I know there's a real camera shop there. So we went to Torrington. He drove, God bless him, and we got there, and the woman said, if you want 4x6s, we could do them for $16 a pack. If you want 5x7, they will be $100 a pack. So that's why you have 4x6 pictures. The city would go broke on that. So we just were so bewildered, we just left, and I continued where I've been going, although some of your pictures did not arrive, so I will be talking about that later. And then we have Izzy Weinreb. He is our He's our Blight Task Force liaison. Every week, the city of Waterbury, all the different departments, they have a weekly meeting. And a lot of what they talk about is blight, litter, all the stuff. We're talking trash all the time here. So he goes to the meetings, he brings our suggestions to them, and then he brings back information to us that we need to know from. So he's a very valuable asset also. And our newest member is the guy that's got the hardest job of all of us, and that's called secretary. This is Dan Pesh. He takes all the notes. Nobody ever wants to be the secretary because it's a lot of work, but he gladly does it. And the new guy on the block, he's waiting for another commissioner so they can take over as secretary. I just want to tell you just a little teeny bit quickly about how the Beautification Award started. About 1997, and a little before that, I've had the neighborhood council, which is great. All the different community clubs belong to this council. And they went to the then Mayor Jarjura and asked to have a litter commission. And I guess he said yes, because they got one. About the same time, a little bit later, they had this community vision for Waterbury. It's a bunch of very highly placed business people came. They're going to save Waterbury. And they since disappeared. But they came and they asked anybody, just please give us an idea, something we can do for Waterbury. They didn't care what it was at this point. So, I thought about the wealthier towns, the suburbs, they all have beautification stuff. So I went to the director and I said, well, could I do beautification awards? And they just flatly said yes, because they were desperate at that time. So I came out of desperation, and I created the Beautification Awards, and this is our 21st year. And then Mayor Jarjura, because that committee broke up, all the CEOs disappeared, and they ran out of money to have an event. So Mayor Jarjura put the neighborhood council, and the litter commission, and the beautification together, and that's how we have been joined together for all these years. So on we go to what's important, and that's you. I was going to start with the residential, which I usually do, until Saturday, when I saw this in the paper. I don't know if any of you saw this. Mr. Bill Wildman, who he and his wife have done many wonderful things in this city, but they're trying to rebrand Waterbury once again. And here is his proof that we need to be called the City of Heroes. I won't read it all to you now. I hope you have it, or you can make a copy of this and get it back to me, all about who's received Distinguished Service Awards, Navy Crosses, all of these. We've had so many heroes come out of Waterbury, Connecticut. And when I read this, I really went to tears. It's so touching how many gave their lives from Waterbury, Connecticut, how patriotic a city we are. And then I thought to myself, these are the real big heroes that gave their lives and did these amazing things to try to save our country from any problems. But in everyday life, you are the heroes to me. So it certainly is a city of heroes because you are some of them in a different way from this. So I decided to make my first award to Bill and Joan Wildman for his and her desire in putting forth the effort to try to rebrand us the City of Heroes. And he also carries on his truck 26 acts of kindness, which came from the Newtown killings. And he and his wife have done many more than 26 acts of kindness. So I'd like to have Bill and Joan Wildman please come up and receive your award. Oh, by the way, Izzy, our commissioner, he's going to take pictures of all the winners. So what he's asked us to do is, I should have been talking about you while you were coming up. Of course, I forgot. That's my middle name. And besides confusion, that's my confirmation name. But as you're coming up, then you'll turn around with your award. Rob will give you your award, and maybe you could take it out of the envelope. And while he's doing that, Dan is going to go get your picture. And then you're going to stand here with one of us, and Izzy would like to take your picture, okay, to honor this night. Besides being videoed, and it will be on TV, that's why we asked your phone numbers. I will call every one of you when Dave lets me know it's going to be on TV, so you could all see this evening. So would you two come up, please? Okay, you could stand with them. Go ahead, Rob. You could be in with them. Yeah, that's good. That'd be nice. Okay, congratulations to you. And he's going to give you your picture. Thank you for everything you two do. You're amazing, my heroes. Okay, next we have Michael Salvio and Jean Sherman. They are, if you could start coming up, I don't know about if Jean wants to, but Mike, if you want to start coming up. These two are my heroes of Fulton Park. I don't think there's anyone here that doesn't realize that Fulton Park is more and more beautiful every year because of Michael and Jean and the many people that they bring in to help clean that park and make it the absolute best it can be. I mean, a famous architect designed it. I mean, how many parks in this world are designed by a famous architect? And, you know, maybe it kind of got let go a bit. But these two gentlemen and all the people they bring in, hundreds and hundreds, have made that park spectacular, just the way it should be. And we thank them. And he's in the suit tonight, but I have never seen him out of the I Love Fulton Park t-shirt that he wears and should have. Congratulations to you.
We're going to go take a picture with Jean over there.
Good, great. Great. You want to go down, Rob? Yeah, good. Okay, they're going to take a picture at the table. That's where they prefer. Next, we have a group of three, two of whom are here. And there's my little heroes right there. They're just the most adorable kids. I can't wait till they come up. We have three people, two of whom are here. They are called the Spirit of Waterbury. And they think up these amazing things to do, and then they get people to help. And for instance, Mardi Gras, that started a number of years ago by these people. And they make Halloween special for all the kids and the big kids too. And you could come down and enjoy all kinds of things because of these three. Then the latest one, I'm not going to name too many of them because I want to have time for other people. But the latest one was Hidden Spaces. And within the City Hall, there's what I am told used to be called the Italiante Gardens. And people used to go years ago and have their wedding pictures taken there and things like that. And then I'm not sure what happened. As you know, when the City Hall deteriorated, perhaps that did too, I don't know. But now that we have the new City Hall, the mayor has made sure it's in spectacular condition. And they just had this. That's their first hidden space. And they had a big party there. And loads of people came and enjoyed an evening there. And they're going to be looking for more places like that to have parties and fun. So look forward to another. So we have here Ken Killer, by the way. Ken also is the man that takes the ends of your Christmas tree, and he makes anything you want in there with his special saw, and people put them as Christmas tree ornaments. I have given them to my neighbors. I have sent them to my cousins. Anything if you were a Marine, he has a Marine sign. If you're Irish, he's got that Irish thing that I don't know. If you're Lithuanian, maybe there's a kugely in the middle of it. I'm not sure. But But he does that. He's amazing. He's done, what, 10,000 of those? Huh? More? I don't know what he said, but I want to see one with a kugli, okay? But anyway, so Ken is amazing. Bill DeMeda, he is a man of the flags. He has collected so many flags from so many different periods that they were even in the Manatee Museum, or maybe are now, I don't know that part. So and then Edie Reynolds is the one that started John Bale Bookstore with her husband, and it's been a cafe. It's a wonderful place. I had the opportunity to have lunch with, and then all these guys came in. They come in for lunch. You know, it's very comfortable, like another place we have in Bunker Hill, which is, I'll talk about later, which is called the Third Day Cafe. It's the kind of place you can sit and be comfy. You're not in a sterile environment like a DD place or one of the others. They're homey, comfort places. They come in, they sit and kibitz and talk and laugh, and it's wonderful. So Edie is not here this evening. She is painting. So I'd like to call up, and I did it again, didn't I, Izzy? I'd like to call up Ken Killer and Bill DeMeda and have their picture taken, please, for the spirit of Waterbury. And we have the pictures for you. I guess I'll be getting them. Oh, you did take them. Oh, I should have trusted you. Sorry. Yep. I wish Edie was here too, but you'll give her award and everything, huh? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Congratulations. For all you guys do, it's wonderful. And then we have Barbara Davitt, who is not here this evening. The National Broadcasters Hall of Fame, we have one that broadcasts right here in Waterbury, Connecticut. And she has also done many, many cultural volunteer things in the city of Waterbury. We're very lucky to have Barbara Davitt, so please give her a hand even though she's not here. And we have the star of radio, theater, the Shamrock. This man, talk about community involvement. He does not live in our city, but he spends probably a good part of his time here, unless he's at the Chutes Lagoon in Southington where he lives. But he spends so much time here. He's out at every event, doing for the city of Waterbury and beyond. And you know, we're just so lucky. I didn't know that he'd come tonight, and look at, he's here with his beautiful wife. So I thank you for everything you do, have done, and will do in the future. You beautify our city with all of your wonderful self. Thank you for everything. You should be giving out autographs, selling them. Yeah, you could be in a picture. That's a picture I took. Okay, Barbara Davitt's picture did not come in. There are several that did not, unfortunately. The next award we have, they cannot come up because they're not here, that, to my knowledge, Charles, Joseph, and Peter Longo. These three, they are here. Oh, there you are, yay. I couldn't see. The lights, you know, I'm not so used to the camera. The lights are killing my eyes. Oh, great. Two?
Yeah, Joanne, Peter couldn't make it.
Peter couldn't make it. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're on Facebook, last year you saw comment after comment after comment. Why is the Christmas tree not on the green? We're mad, we're angry, we're disappointed. It was hidden over in Library Park. And people were really, I mean, that tree's been on the green forever, and it wasn't there. And it was like an old friend, we missed it. So the city was going to purchase one because they realized how important it is to all the citizens. And it was quite a bit of money, so they were going to look for maybe one less. And 3 gentlemen stood up and in memory of their beautiful parents, purchased our Christmas tree. They are the Longo brothers from United Auto Sales and Service. On Congress Avenue. And I was asking somebody about it today. They said you do darn good work up there on Congress Avenue. So you may be seeing my 2003 Subaru. But anyway, they purchased the Christmas tree for us. We really owe them a debt of gratitude. And thank you for the kind applause. They deserve every bit of it and more. 2 things. They wanted it known that this is, and it's on their awards, is in memory of their dear mother and father. And the other thing is, it has to be called a Christmas tree, not a holiday tree. And we thank you so much. Waterbury thanks you.
Thank you very much.
Your picture did not come in. I've got one for each of you.
When you're ready.
Well, I was ready. The ones that developed it weren't ready.
You look like me, you don't like cameras.
Thank you.
Oh, you came out fine, I am sure. 2 handsome guys. Next, there's a lot of empty lots, some of which the city owns. We have what we call adopt-a-spots in Waterbury. We've got about 36 of them. This one I don't think was ever formally adopted, but it's a big, huge piece of property on Burton Street, which is off of North Main. And this wonderful woman who has done an awful lot through the years, you probably will recognize the name of Fannie Marone. She has done, yeah, see? She started the community garden on Crownbrook for the Crownbrook community. And we went over there and it was absolutely beautiful, laden with all flowers. Please be coming up. I tried to do this right, Izzy. Please be coming up while I'm talking about it. That was my instructions and I'm trying to follow them. But anyway, they, how about Dan, would you do a picture this time with the ladies? Thank you. Okay, so Mike, you want to come? So it is beautifully laden with flowers and somehow they even piped water in. I saw some pipes there.
Yeah, yeah.
How did you do that?
Well, we had help.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was done, but it was done by another volunteer in our neighborhood.
Another volunteer. These are the heroes of the city, absolutely. Congratulations and thank you so very much. Yes, your picture did come in, so.
I didn't get the picture.
Uh,
Me. I didn't ask you to.
they have a photo there. Can you see it?
Come on back up. I gotta get this picture.
Oh, I got it.
Got it? No, that's the garden club. See, that tells in front. It's all flowers. Well, it was here. Well, we'll find it at the end, I guess. It was here. Anyway, congratulations to you. We had your picture. I don't know where it went. Oh, did someone give you a picture?
I look and say, where in Park is this?
Yes. Okay, Rob, or okay, Dan. Okay, yeah, your pictures didn't come in yet, Michael, Salvio, and Jean. So WATR, now WATR is a business, but you know what? How many radio stations in this country are more than 80 years old? How many radio stations have been privately owned all this time? How many radio stations hire a wonderful manager where you and I are allowed to go on the show to be interviewed? If you have some cause, something you're doing, for instance, Ken Killer, he could go and the 3 of them can talk about the spirit of Waterbury. Where else can you do that? Local people being on the radio. If those 2 children were doing an event at their school, they could go on that station. And think about Tom Shute, besides always being so kind, no matter how many times I goof up. He learns all about what we're doing first. That way he can interact with us and not just sit there, but he knows exactly what we're talking about. And if it's an event, all during the time before the event, he always managed to get it in, whether we do an ad or not. He is just an amazing guy. And WATR is amazing. And this award is for the two owners. They are not here, but their award is way down, Dan. It's in with the businesses, I think. So if there's nobody to come up, would you come up and take it with them? Then maybe I could get my picture in with you.
Yes.
We'll stand together. Thank you, WATR. Thank you, Tom Shute. And now we have the Waterbury Garden Club. This is might be a couple of men in there, I hope, but mostly women's group. And if they'll come up while we're doing this, I'd like to take a picture with them too. Maybe some of my weeds will disappear because I could grow like you do. But this is downtown. They have 4 pots. And when I took the picture originally, they had flowers kind of growing. It was summer. You saw mostly pot and soil. And then picture was developed. I'm all set to use it. All of a sudden, these flowers burst out like snowdrifts from every side of the pot. It was so magnificent. But again, my camera doesn't develop so fast. So I actually hired a professional photographer to come and photograph it yesterday. So it's showing up much better. And we thank you, ladies, so much. Congratulations. They also have done, I think, behind the Manatee Museum at some point. And now they have done behind the Waterbury, the main library. So they're busy at work making Waterbury beautiful. And if Lisa Velez can come up for the neighborhood council. Lisa is the president of the neighborhood council. And I might say she amazes me all the time. In front of the Apothecary Hall, oh my God, Senator Hartley, we're going to just stop right here. Come up, say hello. Oh my God, she has got about 3 or 4 events tonight, and she chose us. Thank you so much.
No, I had to be here. This group, headed up by Bonnie and the Litter Commission, makes my life so much easier. I'm always on the phone calling poor Mike Gilmore and saying, Mike, this, that, and the other thing. But the work that Bonnie and the commissioners do is something that we in government could never accomplish. And so I'm here to say thank you to you all, and then to bow my hat and recognize and say thank you to all of tonight's recipients. Because truly you make this community the special community that it is. And I'm thinking you all ought to try a little experiment and pay attention to, so you do these incredible things and you beautify your property and our community, but pay attention that how after you do it, how one, people notice, recognize it, appreciate it, and by the way, you put the pressure on them. You put the pressure on them to kind of raise the standard and to kind of come along. So in so many ways, aside from the incredible work that you do, you are also our emissaries and our ambassadors on keeping this community its special place. And so for that, I say thank you, because it takes a lot of love and extra time. So I'm just here on behalf of the delegation to recognize all of you for making this the special place, the place that we love, and the place that we hold so dear. Thank you for what you do. Thanks.
Of course, thank you. Wow, now she's running to another event. This is an amazing, amazing woman. I honor her so much because I could never do what she does, and I don't know how many people can. But back to Neighborhood Council. We have the president of the Neighborhood Council. She's a very sharp lady, and I know that she was working very hard, but I never had that much interaction with her. But because the Neighborhood Council has the island in front of the downtown Dunkin' Donuts, I always thought, wouldn't it be nice if all the neighborhoods took the pots all the way up Bank Street? So I saw her at Mass one Sunday. Church, well, Mass was at church. Where she can't say no. And all I told her was my dream. Bing, she's out there to all the neighborhood groups. She is inviting them to be a part of this. Then one Saturday or Sunday morning, a weekend morning, she got them all down there. They got these amazing plants. I've got to find out where you got them. They're beautiful. Planted. She had a whole schedule of who's going to water when, keep it weed-free, keep it litter-free. And the whole summer it was absolutely stunning. Between them and the 4 pots that the Waterbury Garden Club had, Bank Street looked so beautiful. And unfortunately, the frost hit a lot of stuff. But if you ever went through Bank Street in the summer, you would just be in awe of the beauty. And Lisa, thank you so much. We have...
Thank Chuck, because Chuck is the one who, he's part of the neighborhood council. He's from CNC Landscape and Maintenance, and he watered them twice a week for us.
Oh, well, then we thank you, too.
Thank you.
We kept them alive.
We kept them alive. Yeah, and we are going to plant either daffodils or tulips shortly, so springtime we'll be all set again.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah.
So you and
Don't have to
God
worry
took care of
about
them, huh?
Okay.
We him with the sunshine, you with the water.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Now, there should be an award for you as well.
Right here.
Right, but there should be one for the neighborhoods as well.
Oh, the neighborhood council?
Yeah, because
Okay.
that one's for you personally. Yeah, that's the one.
I'm used to giving these out. I'm not used to getting.
Well, get used to it. You'll have many more, I'm sure. Thank you so much. Wow, what a community we have in Waterbury, Connecticut. You can't really, I don't know if you're going to find it too many other places. People are just amazing here. Is Mr. Badarsian here from Clover Street? Okay. We'll save that one. Mr. Campion. Okay. I know these people. Mr. and Mrs. Chulo, Vita. Would you start walking up while I talk about your property? I was going to Schmidt and Seraphine's over on Chase Avenue, and I always cut through Cook Street. And we had my corner of my eye, I should have been looking at the traffic, but I was looking for properties for litter too. But I saw these hedges, perfectly manicured hedges. And nothing thrills me more because when we used to live on Upper Lounsbury Street up near Washington Park, when my dad passed away, I was in charge of the hedges. And I will tell you something, my hedges never looked like this. These were like army cut. Just, you know, in the army you have to have everything creased, and that's how those hedges look. It's such an attractive thing. Then they had a beautiful door. And so I just left a little card, and little did I know, this is the Vita Chulo, who has more friends on Facebook than God does. She's a wonderful person. Everybody wants to be her friend. She is just a very kind and friendly person. And I was shocked that that was her house because I had no idea where she lived. So thank you for that. And Mr. Chulo, I presume maybe you're doing the hedges? Beautiful job. The next home is the De Palma home. And if you will start coming up, Mr. De Palma, I met his mother, actually. She won many years ago. I did not realize that's who lived in this other house. And it's a very lovely home that I think he really redid. And the home, which I kept noticing how perfectly balanced everything was. The exact same height, bush on each side, plantings neat, the cutting out around the lawn, which never happens at my house. It's just perfect. So, and it's a lovely, lovely home. And when I ever found, you're welcome and thank you. When I ever found out it belonged to a woman, I used to work for her at UConn in the clothing department or whatever for a couple of months. And she had one. Her yard is absolutely beautiful. She was lucky. The old pears used to fall from a tree and made great soil for her over the years. I'm not sure what fell from my trees because I don't have great soil. But I'm not that lucky. So anyway, the next one we have, unfortunately, they're not here, and we do these people every year. They are the Freeman family from Willard Street. And this is the most glamorous yard. Talk about perfect. Mr. Freeman went to a tag sale in Cheshire years ago, and he bought, for $5, he bought a pair of hand shears. And he must have 50 bushes in there, and they are all hand sheared, sculpted shapes. And the front, she's got all plantings on her porch, which is lovely, and they love where they are. Everything drapes down and is gorgeous. The backyard has areas. Here are some tall arborvitae trees with a beautiful sculpture of a woman. Here's something else with a sculpture of a dog. It's all parts. It's like being in a beautiful park. And so I award them every year because there is no yard like that in the city or maybe even surrounding the city. And I'm sorry that they're not here this year. Maybe they got tired of coming every year. Then we have the Franklin Court condos on Wesley Street. I know the woman did not come, but they're very nicely kept, lawn mowed. The buildings themselves, the structures are very, very lovely. It's an asset, even though it is condos and kind of invading a single-family district. They look very, very nice. I think they're welcome there. Dr. Goldgrab, would you come up, please? This is Dr. Goldgrab. And he's from Euclid Avenue. A number of years ago, before Izzy was ever a commissioner, I was on Euclid Avenue and I saw how lovely Izzy's yard looked. So he won an award that year, and 5-6 years later, he is a commissioner. Dr. Goldgrab happens to live next to him. Izzy mentioned to come up and take a look. And what Doctor has, besides, a lovely home, something I always wished I could have is be on a tree-lined street, with a strip of grass, and then the sidewalk, and some trees. Well, that's exactly what is on Euclid Avenue. And Doctor planted some trees in that strip, and he has beautiful mums all around the trees, hedges, and then flowers inside the hedges, a gate, and a fence. And I couldn't get a picture in the fence, but I got from the sidewalk all those beautiful mums on that tree-lined street, which was my dream, and he's living my dream. Oh well. Thank you. That's very beautiful, beautiful. Is Mrs. Hill here? Okay. She lives on Garden Hill Circle, which is somewhat off a Long Hill Road, and maintains a very beautiful yard. Everything, all kinds of flowers. Everything is neat, and a beautiful painted wall, not a nick in it. And then it extends beyond my picture. It's a very big yard. It's a very lovely yard, and we thank her for her beautiful job. Do we have the Irizarry Sanchez residence people here? Okay, they live on Joy Road, and they have a lovely one-floor house with a very nicely kept lawn, and they have evergreens, and it always looks nice because they're on a corner, so they have an important spot because you're on 2 streets when you see their house. Very nicely done. Mr. Massacott, Mrs. Massacott, they are here. Yay. They live on Robin Crest, which comes off of, I think that's Robinwood Road. It's a little street off of there. in the west end of Waterbury. And they have a nice ranch house with these lovely flowers and trees and evergreens. And also caught my eye on the porch, there was this beautiful shade of green, which I'm going to talk about when I talk about the Paratis later. This lovely shade of green, it's like a young green and very, very pretty. So I found that a very attractive, certainly a very beautiful part of our community. Thank you very much. Mr. Montes, Mrs. Montes. All right, they live on Sylvan Avenue, and they have a lot of pots. They have a very nice kept lawn. They have a lot of potted flowers and up the stairs, you know, their front stairs. So it made a very attractive part of Sylvan Avenue, which is a very nice street anyway, but they're doing an exceptional job. Mr. Parmley. All right, this is what's called the perfect yard. It's not the same yard as Freeman's, but this yard, there isn't a blade of grass out of place. Flowers, I bet he used, like my brother in Michigan, he uses a ruler, you know, to measure between the flowers. I always said to my brother, I said, gee, your flowers look so even, I bet you measure them. He goes, 7 inches. So, yeah, it's an engineer, that's what it's all about. So Nico, when you become an engineer someday, you'll be doing the same thing. Measure, measure, measure. But anyway, so this place, I bet this man measures everything. They have new sidewalks. He lives on a corner of Orinoco Road and Carriage Drive. And it faces Carriage Drive. But he's always out there with the blower, blowing everything off of that sidewalk. I mean, talk about nothing in your gutter, no weeds, nothing. And it was a very, very perfect house. And I was very pleased that he let me take a picture of it. And the next one is for the Peltos from Birch Street, where I was born. And I left when I was a little child, but I go up that street now and then to go to the school up there, the new school, the Career Academy. And this, I found the Pelto house, very nicely kept. They have a beautiful balcony and all kinds of greenery. It's a very attractive property. And the next one is Parati on Westmont Drive. And I would like to have you all come up if you would. Rob, I think I'll get in this picture maybe. Now, the Paratis always, they are my neighbors, I will tell you. They always had a very neat house. I wish I could just be in your picture. I ruined a lot of people's pictures, but put over his head. And they've always had a lovely yard. Everything's always perfectly kept, very neat, and that was very nice. But what they had was, thank you very much. Thank you. What they always had, what I mentioned before about that pretty shade of green, their grass was like the prettiest shade of green I ever saw. It's that kind of green you see in the spring when the leaves are just coming out and you think of youth and just a nice, cool feeling. Well, they always had this pretty shade of green, and I don't know how they got it, because I haven't seen it anywhere else, but it was lovely. But the thing that did it for me, because they're my neighbors, I hesitate, to do my neighbors. People say, oh yeah, you're just because you're neighbors and they're nice to you or something, but it's not that reason. But when I saw Mr. Parati, Neil Parati, starting to build a wall, a stone wall, it brought me back to my childhood. I've had many childhoods already. But this particular childhood reminded me of my dad, because when we moved to Upper Lounsbury Street, our backyard was a hill of sand. It went way up to the McCaddy lots. If anyone's from that area, you know what I mean. My dad dug out 3 levels, and he built those stone walls into the ground, not straight up like Neil's. And when he wanted some rocks, if he saw one with a little split, he would burn inside that, and the rock would split open. I always remember that. So when I saw Neil building a wall, it reminded me too, like after my dad did that, whenever we would go to Middlebury, I'd always think of these beautiful walls. How did people build a wall like that? It's not cement. I mean, it's all beautiful rocks. how did they do that? I always thought that it was rich people, you know, that had them, so they must be rich. But anyway, he really did a fabulous job. It's just like the kind you see in Middlebury and Woodbury and all those places. And when I would look out my window and watch him building it, and it was just incredible how he did it. And it just solidified that whole yard, so I just had to award them today. And Mrs. Prati, Christy, is like the heart of this home. They have these two adorable children. And, you know, every day, these children go to school happy because, I mean, my den is right across from their house. I can't, if I'm walking by, I can't help. I'm not looking. It just can't help it. Every day, that door opens early in case the bus is early. Every day they go out, Mommy kisses them goodbye. So they know they're loved as they're going to school every single day. And Nico is he's an engineer. He's a scientist. He's fixed a few things in my house. He's 7 years old, and it's true. And he's a discovery type of child. He wants to discover things. He took, there was an ad on TV for this kind of a spin mop thing, which doesn't work, by the way, but it does have a pedal. And so it was drying outside, so he took a bunch of leaves and he made pump, 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 make centrifugal force, and they all flew out. I mean, he discovers all the time. But he has fixed a few things in my house. And so I'm not sure what direction he's going, but he's a pretty bright little boy. And his sister, Billy Rose, is, she's a reader. I go to the library and get them books every week. She'll come in, sit down with a book, and she'll go through a couple of books, the few hours they're there. She'll concentrate, and I ask her little questions. She knows what she's reading. I can hear her laughing sometimes, so she knows humor. But what she does that just gets to me is, I don't mean it to be taught, but they're just adorable. I have a deck, you know, everybody has if you have a deck, you got stairs on it. So she'll say, Nico and Bonnie, you sit down there and watch me. She stands at the top of the deck, and she spews out these poems from her head. And they're not what they learned in school. It's not like Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. It is things she makes up. And they come right out of her, and it reminds me of Abraham Lincoln. I don't know if you remember when you read in books, they talked about, he used to speechify. He would give these, you know, off-the-cuff speeches. I know him pretty well because he was one of my students, but you may not know him. But anyway, that's what she does. So I say, go in the house, write it down so you don't forget it. And she's just come out with some great ideas. So we've got the inventor, and plus he's a little cook too. He knows how to make 4-ingredient pancakes, not from a box. And he always wants to make his salads when he comes over. And his father happens to be a master chef. So I think he's got a little bit of dad, he's got the love of his mom, and all the things she does. And those two little children, I should have given you an award, kids. But thanks for letting me talk about them. They're just really adorable. Then we go to Pierpont Street. That's for you, kids. That clapping is for you. Then we go to Pierpont Street. I know the Poudriers are not here. We have the Rajkumars. I don't know if he's, I thought he was he's leaving, so wrong way. Okay, he's not here. They're from Euclid Street also. Their flowers, they have stairs that go up. Their flowers are very large cannas and flowers like that go right up the stairs. It's like, you know, walking, if you're a bride, you're walking through all these flowers going up the stairs. Very beautiful. And then we go to the Ralphs. Now, I remember Mr. Ralph was a music teacher when I was in high school. And I don't know if Abraham Lincoln was in that class, but I know I was. And we had, a couple of years ago, I was in behind Our Lady of Loretto Church. I do not honestly remember the street, but I met a wonderful nurse named Miss Ralph, and I think she was a niece or a grandniece to him. beautiful yard. She won an award. Then there was another sister, won an award. And now this time, and I don't ever know where I'm going, so I'm not planning on getting all the Ralphs or something. But this was a kind of up in the hills off of Cook Street. I was riding around and I found Stanwood Street. It's a very tiny, cute street. And I remembered I had given this other family an award. There's only like 4 houses. But this one is on the corner of 2 streets, Miss Ralph's house. It is a huge house, beautiful colonial, and flowers everywhere, up the stairs, in the front, in the side, and they have a double lot, which one is in the back. Flowers everywhere, a beautiful place for a picnic. This is a lovely home. What an asset to the city of Waterbury. Miss Ralph. You came and went already? Everybody's right. I do talk too much. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, Mr. Rosado didn't come, huh? Okay, because that's the neighbor of, okay, that's all right. Anna Avenue, Mrs. Stango, Mr. Stango. There you are. There's a little island on Anna Avenue, and across the street from it is a very, very lovely, well-kept house. That's a very nice little neighborhood you have there. And on one side in particular is where I took the picture. They have an arbor there and lots of flowers. It just opens up that whole part of the street, and we're very, very pleased, and it looks like you're a professional gardener. And if you're not, you should be. Thank you for a beautiful job and a beautiful yard. Page 10. Mr. Sudhu lives on Ridge Street also. I know he's here. Sadhu? Okay. There are 2 yards. I'm sorry Mr. Rosado is not here. Next door to one another. And we call that linkage, when 2 yards are both beautiful, one next to the other. And they have the same type of flowers in a way because they're all taller flowers within a fence, and it really looks beautiful, and it comes down across 2 yards. And it's just well kept, clean, and the flowers were just beautiful, and it extends that whole thing between the 2 yards, and they seem to be very good friends. Okay, we did that again, Bonnie, sorry, too long, but I can't help it. These people do great things. Mr. Vegas, I know, is not here. We sent him an invitation, but the mailman said he doesn't have a box there, so. And the last of the residences, now this is a transformation. You remember the toy, I don't know if they're too young to know the toy, the Transformer? I'm probably too old to know it, but maybe some of your children or my children had Transformers, and it would be one thing, and you turn all these things and it becomes something else. So we had a house on Bunker Hill Avenue across from Our Lady of Loretto Church. And it was a maroon, not quite maroon, but a wine color house. And this is what I'm told, I don't know for sure, that the man was in a convalescent and he was depending on his attorneys to take care of it, which doesn't look as if they did. And it was very disappointing because most of Bunker Hill Avenue is really lovely. And this was really looking terrible. And then this Transformer, Mr. Wibby, if you would come up, Mr. Wibby, or did you already go back too? Oh, good, thank you. Mr. Wibby took that mess, that monstrosity, and literally transformed it into one of the most charming, pretty houses you'll ever see. Someday, if you're on Bunker Hill Avenue, right across from Our Lady, cannot miss it. The colors he used, the flowers he used. It is absolutely, he's a hero for transforming that house on Bunker Hill Avenue because it really, really was a shame and a shambles. And now it's absolutely magazine ready. And now we come to our businesses. Well, where'd my list go? Mrs. Torres. Oh, I have it here. I just didn't. Okay, sorry. I did. How'd I do that? Sorry. The Torrance family. Torrance? There you are. This was nominated by my vice chairman who lives across the street. So I did it too. I did my across the street. And this is a beautiful colonial with a huge, gorgeous pine tree, as big as, I don't know, I think it touches heaven. And beautiful grounds. It's just a very, very, very beautiful home. Yes, I see it now. I just missed it. The Torres family. There's Mrs. Torres. How did I do that? Okay, I think my eyes, I just had cataract surgery, so maybe my eyes are just doing little jumpy things. Welcome, Mrs. Torres. Torres. This is Pleasant Street, and she does make the street a pleasant one. She has a very big yard. The photograph could not even capture her whole yard, but it's all full of flowers and levels, and they have vines and a beautiful statuary in the front of the house, so well kept, like a park. And when I went there, there was this little dog scaring the blazes out of me. Bark, 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 bark. I said, look, I want to take this picture. And he kept barking and barking, barking. And I said, so finally, one of the grandchildren, I'm guessing, came out of the house, your grandchildren, came out of the house, what did I want? And I explained. So Mrs. Torres came out, and she said to the child, she looks pretty tired. Get her a bottle of water. So I got, thank you. I had just had my face done, but that's okay. No, no, but seriously, it was a hot day, and she was kind enough to offer a stranger a bottle of water, and that is definitely appreciated, because I was really parched that day. But the yard is really, really beautiful, the kind I would like to have, besides the sidewalks that I want to have, that doctor has there. Okay, now we go to businesses. If I skipped anybody, please. Okay, Davis Gardens at Warner Street. If anybody lived in Waterbury all their life, they might remember the first black co-ops in, I believe, New England were in Waterbury. And these lovely people bought into co-ops, and they lived through the years, but money gets tight for all of us. And the co-ops were built, I think, in World War II. So they were getting old, the way I feel some mornings, and they kind of deteriorated. I remember once, and I don't remember why, because the litter commissioners do a lot of stuff under the radar. It's not all events. And I was up there once, and there was this elderly woman, beautiful woman, and I mean, she had no heat. The walls were made of cardboard, I think. It was the saddest thing ever, until this company came in, and they took over that land and built the most beautiful apartments you will ever want to see. They would be accepted in any great suburb that we have, because they are gorgeous. You've got to make it a point to go up Long Hill Road and find Warner Street to see these. The colors of the buildings are those very rich, vivid colors. They have a place to meet for picnics. They have a playground. It is stunningly beautiful. The plantings are amazing there. And the thing that is the key, 24 hours maintenance. That company maintains it 24 hours a day, so you don't see a piece of litter. You don't see anything out of place. It is gorgeous. Take a ride looking at leaves, go up Long Hill, find Warner Street, and you will not believe what you see. It is stunning. And I know they're not here. Next is my favorite little jewelry store. which is on Grand Street. And somebody likes it too. Oh, okay. There she is. Maria Codiani. The Codiani family has owned that store for many years. And many people have enjoyed what they do with their jewelry. And the sign is always very nice script. Place is always immaculate. She goes in early to clean around her, to clean other business owners' junk. And she hired someone to put some lovely greens into her planter. I think my throat's getting dry. So anyway, not only does she run a jewelry store, but she also keeps her area of Grand Street and those on either side of her clean so that it's appealing to customers to come downtown. And then we have Ray's Automotive. I found Ray's Automotive one day. I was going up Baldwin. As you go toward Pearl Lake Road and that way, you'll find Ray's Automotive. And Mike went over, Commissioner Mike, he went over and he talked to them and asked if we could take a picture. So we did. And what I found there was an immaculate, how many automotives can be immaculate? I don't know, but it was so clean. They had beautiful, beautiful big pots of purple petunias and the sign, Welcome to Hopeville, right on their property. They're very good community citizens, and I understand they do. Oh, thank you so much. Just catching me right here. Vodka or? Yeah. Oh. Thank you. Thank you. So thank you, Ray's Automotive. Next we have Schmitz and Seraphine's. You know they've been here. How many years you've seen Schmitz and Seraphine's? And they always have these massive pots of flowers. And I always say, how do you get your flowers to look so good? Well, anytime a bag of fertilizer breaks, we just throw it in. So rather than waste it. And this year they had these huge canna plants. And canna plants are huge. And they had 3 big planters along their wall between their 2 businesses there. And they were absolutely gorgeous. And what you do with canna in the winter, you bring them in your cellar, keep them a little bit warm, and they'll come back. I don't know if they're going to do that, but they're huge. They must be 5 or 6 feet tall. And then they had them in tall pots. So we're going 8 or 10 feet on the wall of Schmidt and Seraphine. Just beautiful. They do a great job. Lori, would you be able to come up here? Is all right, because she had foot surgery. The next place, I talked about cozy places before when we were talking about John Bale. There's another one. I mean, it's nice to go to the commercial places, but when I can find a neighborhood restaurant or a place for a cup of coffee, it's a place where you want to sit and stay. You want to sit and stay and talk to people. And this is an adorable little cafe. It was started 1 year ago, a little over a year. They have a nice bench outside. You can sit and have your coffee. The sun shines just right on there. And Lori Savino and Michael Savino they created it. It's another one of those originals like John Bale. It's just, we have so many originals in Waterbury. And it's the kind of place you want to go and sit, have a cup of coffee, relax, and stay a while. And they have, breakfasts, and they have sandwiches and all different kinds of soups sometimes. You get little surprises. But it's very, very, and they redid this all themselves. The last place it was, I think, was a deli. And you don't decorate delis too often. But this is, so they really redid the whole thing. They used a lot of barnwood and just cozy. You could take and sit Outside, I notice people reading books outside. They have their tea or their coffee, and they just sit in the sun and enjoy. Third Day Cafe on Windsor Street, around the corner from the Bunker Hill Pharmacy. Easy to find. And then we have 1312 West Main Street. It's a medical surgical building across from the CVS. I'm sure many of you have noticed it. It was built by the Yamans, and Michael Yaman is the superintendent of schools now in Prospect. He was in Waterbury for a long time, and his brother's an attorney downtown. And they build buildings, and they build beautiful properties. So except for all the political signs that people are sticking on it, let's say that it is beautifully maintained, and they make a great neighbor in any end of town. We're lucky they're in the west end of town. And now, did I skip anybody this time? Who? Legacy? I never heard of them. I think we've had the community police over there for litter violations, was it? Or are they the most beautiful apartment buildings ever? I want to come in this one. I'm going to be in this picture. I love these guys. This family.
Thank you.
Can I be in your picture?
Look around, man. You're going to hold it for. Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you like the frame? That match nice.
I love it. Thank you.
We love you. They're the only ones we put into a frame, and the reason is this. We all have one property, or if you have a multi-family, you have 2 or 3. They house 350 people in this city in the most beautifully kept apartments you'll ever see. We love them, and that's why we at least gave them a silver frame. If we know them a lot more than that. The Legacies. And give your dad our best. He's a great guy. Thank you, and your mom. Thank you. Well, everybody's all set. I just want to thank all of my heroes. Our heroes for the new branding of the city, from the military, but all my heroes that sit and walk around this city every single day doing beautiful things, keeping your yard beautiful, keeping your business beautiful, creating events and making them beautiful for everyone. Thank you all. I love you all. May you have a wonderful trip home, nice and safe.
Don't forget to say go Dodgers.
Go Dodgers!